Hello and welcome to Love and Lunch, 20-minute weekly Facebook Live with Joanna Keeble and Joe Cooper. So today we're going to be talking about the opportunity of no. And first, let's do some quick introductions. So I'm Joanna Keeble. I'm a certified life coach and founder of Big Beautiful Boundaries. And you can check out my online course at bigbeautifulboundaries.com. or join my free Facebook group, Big Beautiful Boundary Builders, and keep an eye out for my upcoming workshop, my online consent event, the Yes and No workshop. And let me know if that catches your interest. Send me a message. And over to you.
Super exciting. Yeah, my name is Jo Cooper. I'm a dating, sex and relationship coach, and I help women to identify what they want and how to ask for that, so they can have fulfilling relationships, an amazing sex life, everything that you can imagine really through the art of communication. I am founder of just trying to remember my Facebook group, Empowering Women to Ignite Their Desires, and we'll post our links below. I'm co-founder actually of the Melt coaching program, which is starting this Sunday, which is super exciting. And I only have 2 spots left. So if you are interested in how to, I'll tell you a little bit about it at the end, what the kind of Melt acronym is. But yeah, if you're interested, let me know and I can give you more information about that.
All right, nice. Looking forward to that. I love the concept, the Melt concept.
I know, so it feels really yummy in the body.
Cool. So we've done a bit of talking about yes and no before. It's a big subject. It's kind of the whole of like autonomy and agency. So of course it's a subject that we can explore from different angles and come back to. And there's something that you mentioned to me this morning that made me go, yeah, this is about the opportunity of no, which we touched on last week, I think.
Yeah, so, definitely. I think just from the conversation that we had this morning about like energy accounting and how much what it actually gives me to say, to be, to really know my yeses and nos, is that it's almost like I can really just I can feel the truth in everything. I can feel the truth in everything. And from my own experience, I'm not trying to fudge things in life. And when I say fudge, I mean, I don't come from a place of like, oh, I think I should do this because it feels right. Or I go into sometimes places where I have done before, where I may people please in order so I can feel that love or acceptance. And it's really affirming to just, and I think what it's really done for me over the past, I've been practicing this a while, but it's almost like it's becoming more streamlined. It's like I'm flexing the muscle of no. And it just feels really, really good, like really good. And I just had some experiences recently. I don't know what it is. I think actually out of the 4 days, and I've had like different requests from men for like various things. And just really being able to take a moment and feeling like, okay, I can come from a place of like, I don't need to react, but I can respond. And how do I really want to respond when something does feel like a no? And how to be like, I don't need to fluff it up. I don't need to make it look fancy, the no. It's like, I just need to say it. I don't, and I think that's a really beautiful thing of knowing for myself when I can feel what the truth is and being like, okay, what do I need to say? What do I need to say? Really clean and simple in this situation. And, I think the first one was like when a guy friend texted me, I think it was on Saturday, and he wanted to have a conversation and catch up with me. But is that really what I wanted? Is that really what I wanted? And I was just like, actually, it doesn't feel like I want to have a conversation right now. And just because someone else is available doesn't mean I have to be available too. I don't need to drop everything and think, I suddenly need to be there. And it's like just kind of knowing that and feeling it, but delivering it still. I mean, it still has love. I don't need to fluff it up for it to be delivered with love. I can still be kind about it. And I think that's the beautiful thing. And then, I mean, the other two texts were not just friendship texts, there was something else.
Ooh.
Yeah, but it was a no. It was a no. And still, there was just something about honoring that no and just being like, yeah, that's not what I'm available for right now. I'm not available for that. And I don't need to explain why. I don't need to explain why, but I can just say no and just give a really straight answer. And that I'm not available for that. And it just, and interestingly, and it's not coming from, it's just really interesting when I can feel that other person may have not taken it well when there's just like no response, not even a thank you. I don't have any expectation on that, but I just noticed,
Yeah.
I was just aware that there was just like nothing. And I was just like, okay, that's really interesting. But then when it feels like a yes, and a friend texted me today asking for dinner on Wednesday, I was just like, actually feels like a yes. It feels like a strong yes. And it's like instant. And it's like when my channels are really clear in my yeses and nos, like I don't need to have any of that extra thinking about, do I really want this? Do I not? If I say no, will they want to see me again? It's like that kind of mind chatter.
Yeah.
It just stops. It just stops. And I was just like, oh, it just feels really good. I can get on with something else. It's not taking up space in my brain. And I was just like, oh, it feels really fucking good to like know my yeses and my nos and just be like, vroom, and just deliver them.
Loving it. I'm loving everything that you're saying. Oh, gosh, there's so many things to say. I think I'm going to start by just actually, well, first not trying to say everything. I'm a no to that. Yeah. And have a look at what I've written down. That was so fun to listen to. Thank you. Flexing the muscle of no. It really is like, if you're not familiar with using that muscle, either you can't work it at all, or when you do, it's really like, ugh, and sort of uncontrolled, right? So sometimes, the place when I thought I had found my power, and it's the place when I moved from sort of fear and sadness into anger, somewhere in my late teens, early 20s, and I've found a way to say like no as a fuck you, right? And then I walked around being like, I'm a bad bitch, no one needs to mess with me. But I was wearing that so heavily that people did mess with me, and it wasn't totally true. I was just wearing it for the first time. I was working that no muscle, and I didn't have the sort of fine motor skills with my no. I didn't have the confidence to know that I really own it. And it has been the most powerful thing for me has been working consciously on myself, taking on conscious challenges, treating personal development like a gym, not going with a no pain, no gain attitude at all, more along the lines of yoga, right? Just working the muscles, working with what you've got, bringing a meditative attitude, but sometimes doing the uncomfortable thing, sometimes holding yourself in the uncomfortable place, and practicing the things that a bit uncomfortable but are ultimately good for you, like stretching, the discomfort of a stretch. And for me, the no is like that. It's stretching outside my comfort zone. I'm into my stretch zone, and sometimes it is really uncomfortable.
I love
and
that,
especially at the beginning.
Yeah,
go for it.
No, I was just going to say, I love that analogy of like stretching.
Because you don't want to put yourself in danger with the stretch. We don't want to be like, oh, we're going to the maximum, how far can I go? But you do want to feel it.
Yeah, you do want to feel it. And I
And
think,
it's a great analogy for me is because after that,
sorry, I think there was an
sorry, I think we had a little
overlap.
delay. It's probably my connection today. So I'm going to say this. It's like, yeah, like if you have a tight muscle and you work with it, get yourself warmed up, make sure your muscle is warm, make sure it feels good,
Mhm.
and then work to gently stretch it in a way that feels accessible and not actually always right up against your snap zone. Not always 100%. Actually, less than that, gentler than that, but work it. Then what happens? Your comfort zone with that muscle expands, your range expands gently and comfortably. But I suppose what I want to say is I got from never being able to say no to only being able to say it with charge, with energetic or emotional charge. So it's like no, and how dare you, you know, right? There's like judgment there, and there's like a to really coming into my power more and learning to say it where it's like you said, it doesn't have to be in any way judgmental, unloving. It's just true. It's just that's another word I wrote down, truth. It's just true, right? So the first thing is you feel it.
Mhm.
The first thing is you know it. And then it's
Mhm.
about, do I share it with the other person honestly and honor my felt sense of whether or not I'm open or closed right now to this particular offer. Yeah.
Beautiful. And I think from what I hear from women in my Facebook group is like sometimes they don't state a boundary or they don't say no because they're worried about the other person. Maybe there's a fear that they're going to feel rejected or they're not going to be liked, or
Mm.
you know, the fear feels too much. They would rather just like not say anything. And
Mm.
so that's a really interesting spot to be in. But I really love that, going back to the flexing the muscle and having a stretch there and being able to deliver this thing, so you can essentially have more. But I think what really stood out for me was being able to hang out in that discomfort. Because I think when
Mm.
you can really feel it and you don't just react and be like, no, I'm not doing that. It's just like, okay, can I just take a moment to respond? And if I was going to say no from my heart, what would that really begin to sound like? Because that's a piece of vulnerability. And that's the piece often that, you know, we cannot, it's sometimes quite hard to feel into that piece. I know I've experienced it too, and people that I work with as well. It's like becomes becomes a certain amount of vulnerability with saying no and plan having boundaries for yourself.
Mm. Yeah, it's definitely confronting. I mean, there's a place where women are taught to please,
Mm,
right? Well, men and women, right? That we're not just men and women, but society has a certain attitude towards people that it thinks should be men and people it thinks should be women, right?
mhm,
And tells us to please in different ways. So men have to perform and sort
mhm,
of get a pat on the head, get a good boy for doing for performing some sort of service,
mhm,
and women have to be a good woman, right? To be a good person or a loving woman or whatever. There's quite a lot of pressure to uh, prioritize other people over yourself. And there's
mhm,
something you said earlier about you were talking specifically about, for example, women in your group, right? But it applies to a lot of different people, where right, so they don't always want to honor their no because they're worried about how they're going to be seen or what effect that will have on someone else. So what I wanted to
mhm,
say on that is this: we're making choices all day, every day. Life is a series of choices we're making, right? I'm not saying we have full control over every aspect of the weather, right, or other people's what they bring into our experience, but every situation that you're saying a yes or not saying a yes, or saying a no or not saying a no. It is a yes and a no. It's a choice, right? So if you feel that you're a no and you don't own it and act on it, then you're still saying no. You're just saying no to you in that moment. So you get to say no to the offer or no to yourself. But you don't get to avoid no. It's not true. You just got to choose what you're saying no to and what you're saying yes to. Right? There's two sides of the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah, wouldn't you be saying no to both things though? Because if you didn't say no to that person and they were making an offer, then really, if you didn't, then you're not really saying no to yourself. And you're not really saying no to them either.
So my take is, if it's a no for you and you say yes to please the other person,
okay, that's
you've
different.
just said no.
I didn't realize that. I thought you were about like not saying anything at all.
Oh no.
Okay, fair dues.
Well, it's kind of also what you do, isn't it? So say someone sends you an offer, a message, and you feel a no in your body. I mean, there's so many, so you might not want to reply. So let's just take that. So it's not about actually telling them necessarily, but if you say yes to them when you feel like you're a no to their offer, who are you abandoning? Okay, well done, you haven't abandoned them. That's not your job to not abandon them. It's your job to not abandon you.
Yeah.
So you get to feel abandoned when you ignore your no. But also, if someone just sends you a message saying hi and you don't feel like responding, that's a no. And if you reply and say, oh, it's only small, it doesn't matter, or I want them to be okay, so even though it feels like I'm going to say hi back, it's a very small way of saying no to your well-being in a place where you had a desire, a place where your body told you what it wanted or needed. So when we're talking about energy accounting, it's sort of about all the places that we invest our time and energy and focus, right? And in this context, it's often about, are you doing that when your body is saying, this isn't feeding me, I don't want this? And where are the places that you choose to invest anyway? And what's going on there? Might be some useful information there. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, really beautiful. And I think it'd be great to leave it on that point.
All right, nice.
Yeah, just kind of wrap it up. It's a nice one to feel into, that one.
Right, yeah, definitely. It's a noticing. Notice all the choices that we're making all day, and whether it's like towards or away from you. Yeah, that's definitely one to let sink in.
For sure.
All right, my love.
I know,
Tell
it's
us
been
about
so
yourself as
nice.
we
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's the connection. Just like a bit funky. So yeah, so for women, and what I was saying at the beginning, I have these 2 spots left for my group coaching program, which is going to start on Sunday. And so MELT is an acronym for Mind-Blowing Sex, Exquisite Attention, Limitless Love and Timeless Connection. In my masterclass, I do go into that. I haven't got time right now to go into that kind of depth, but it's looking how to have that within your life. I mean, first and foremost with yourself, and then to have that in relationship with others. What does that really begin to look like for you? Because everybody's experience of that is going to feel and be different. So that's what we're going to start to explore and just go on a really deep, beautiful journey. And I'm keeping the group quite small, so I can give you the attention I want to give you, and which will be nourishing to receive. So yeah, I've got a few beautiful women already on there, and it's just, yeah, I love the group so much. So if you feel drawn to work with me and understand a little bit about my work, then it will be amazing to have you there. And so if you come into the Facebook group, you'll be able to see the masterclass and a bit more information about that. So that is, yeah, that is me.
Nice. What's the date for that? What's your start date?
The date, the Sunday, I believe, is the 6th. Is it
Yeah,
the 6th?
You did say it.
6th, yeah. So it's the 6th of December, and I'm really excited, really excited. I do work with one-to-one, but this will be different because it'll be in, yeah, I'll be working within a group. So very exciting. And I learn a lot from group. I really learn a lot from group because you have other sisters there to support you. What do they say? One sister's story is another sister's gift. And I think there's just something where we can really start to learn a lot and support and really cultivate sisterhood together. So yeah, really excited.
All right, gorgeous. So to finish off, yeah, I just want to say I'm really excited about my online boundaries course. It's really for anyone who wants to experience more confidence, connection, clarity, joy, and really work on getting some big, beautiful boundaries in place for just a healthier, happier, more nourishing, satisfying experience in life and in love. And I also want to mention that I've just finished my second coaching program. That's me learning. So I certified as a life coach and orgasmic meditation trainer back in 2017. And that was an amazing education and an amazing journey. And I've just done my second certification. Well, it's actually a triple certification. So I've just finished the course, which was coaching practitioner certificate on its way, and timeline coaching and NLP practitioner. Those are the three things that I'm working on right now. So yeah, getting back into the one-to-one coaching as well as group coaching. Yeah, so contact me if you're interested in my Facebook group, my upcoming online consent event, the Yes and No workshop. We're going to work with some communication skills around yes and no and asking for what you want. Okay, that's all I'm going to say for now.
Amazing. We'll post all the links below so you have those, beautiful people. Yeah. And yeah, we will see you next week.
Nice one. Until next week, send us your questions, send us your ideas, and see you here again, 1 o'clock. London time, UK time, next Tuesday.
Amazing. Bye.